Hello, chess fans! Today we have an interesting puzzle to solve. It is white to move, and we are looking to mate black in two moves. Now we do have an extra queen, and the black king is stuck in this corner up here, but the black's pieces are pretty good at defending the king. So, how do we mate black in only two moves here? Pause the video and try to find a winning combination in two moves and come back when you're ready and we will go through together. Good luck. Okay, did you find it? Now, if you did solve it, let me know in the comments, but please don't give away the solution because then others might see it and ruin it for everyone else. So just let me know if you found it. And yeah, let's go through the variations here. So if white were to play queen to e5, looking to mate on g7, then black could play, for example, so just to show it, so if black were to play knight g4, then this would be a checkmate. But black can play knight to f5, which defends the pawn. And now if we capture that knight and black moves somewhere, now we do have a mate, but this is a mate in three moves, and we were looking for a mate in two moves. So that's why, even though queen e5 do lead to a mate, it's not the correct solution. And it's the same thing with queen d4. Black has knight to f5, defending the pawn, delaying the mate, and yeah, this is a mate in 3, not a mate in 2. So that's why that doesn't work. And if we try with queen to e6, now idea being if black were to push the g-pawn somewhere, then we would have a mate on either f6 or e5. Um, and if black were to play something like knight g4, then we would have a mate on g8. Same thing with knight to f5. Now we have a mate by playing queen to g8. However, black can once again delay the mate by playing knight to f7. And now if we capture the knight and yeah, black does something, then we have a mate. But once again, this is a mate in 3 moves, not a mate in 2 moves. And so that's why moving the queen to e6 doesn't work. And it's the same thing if we move the queen anywhere along this diagonal. Black will just defend with f7. And yeah, this is not a mate, for example. So that does not work either. And if we try to play queen to d7, looking to capture g7, so if black were to play g6, for example, then we would have queen g7 checkmate. But black could play knight to f5, defending the pawn, delaying the mate. Once again, this is a mate in 3, not a mate in 2. Or black could play knight to f7, again, delaying the mate. And it's the same thing with queen b7. Black just plays knight to f7 or knight to f5, and here white has used both the moves without mating black. And if we try with something like queen to g5, looking to mate on b7 again, if black plays g6 and this is a mate, but black has once again knight to f5, defending the pawn and delaying the mate. Okay, and if we try to move the knight, for example, knight to f5, it's a nice idea. Black cannot capture the knight because that leaves the g8 square undefended, and we can now come in there with the queen and mate black. However, and just more variations. Black cannot push the g-pawn either because this will be a mate. And but unfortunately, black can once again delay the mate with knight to f7. And here we have used 2 moves and black is still not mated. Mate in 3. So it's a nice idea, but didn't work unfortunately. And if we try to play, for example, queen to d8, looking to move this king away and create a discovered mate, well, so for example, if black were to play g6, then we would have a mate here. And if black were to play something else, then we would have a mate this way. Well, black can defend with knight to g8. And yeah, this is a mate in 3 moves, not a mate in 2 moves. And there is no mate with something like this. And it's the same thing with queen to a8. Black cannot push the pawn, but black can defend with knight to g8. Okay, and there is nothing with the queen g2 either. Black can defend with either knight to g5, defending the pawn, delaying the mate, or even knight to g4, just blocking the queen entirely. And we have a mate in 3 moves here. Okay, and moving the king away with the idea of trying to get the queen into d8 will not work. Black has knight to g8 and check, and yeah, there is no mate here. Not a mate in 2 at least. And this doesn't do anything. Now black can play just about anything. g6, and yeah, this is not a mate anymore. Not a mate in 2. Okay, I think I've gone through all of the variations. I just want to show you that there is no idea with smothered mate either. Here, white just loses the game entirely. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I've gone through all of the relevant variations. If I forgot anything, then let me know in the comments and I will reply to you there. So how about queen to h5? Now the idea is that if black plays g6, we have mate on e5. And if black moves the knight anywhere, for example, knight to g4, now how does white win this in 1 move? Can you find it? Well, it's indeed beautiful. Knight to g6, checkmate. Black cannot capture the knight because it's pinned by the king. And yeah, if black moves the knight anywhere, then that will always lead to a mate on g6. So, did we solve the solution here? Did we solve the puzzle, I mean? Well, no. Unfortunately, no. It's a very nice idea with the knight g6 checkmate. However, black has g5, and now we don't have a mate in the next move. Unfortunately, after knight to g6, black just captures the knight, and black is still not mated. This is a mate in 3 moves, not a mate in 2 moves. So if you found queen to h5, you get half a point because it was a very nice idea, but the solution is actually queen to h1. So what's the difference? Or what is queen to h1 even? If black plays g6, we have queen a1 checkmate. Okay. And if black moves the knight anywhere, for example, knight to g4, now we have that beautiful mate again, knight to g6, and the pawn is pinned, checkmate. And yeah, doesn't matter where the knight moves, we have always a mate on g6. So what's the difference from queen to h5? Well, remember how g5 didn't work when we had the queen on h5, because when the queen was on h5, we could not mate black anymore. This pawn was blocking the queen away from the e5 square. But now, since the queen is on h1, after g5, we have queen to a1 checkmate. And yeah, so just to recap, queen to h1 solves this puzzle because If black moves the g-pawn anywhere, we will always have queen to a1 checkmate, and if black moves the knight anywhere, we will always have knight to g6 checkmate. So, did you find queen to h1? Did you find knight g6 checkmate? Let me know in the comments. Please don't spoil the solution, and show this puzzle to your friends and family. See if they can find the queen to h1, and let me know what you thought about this puzzle, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.